Okay, today I want to talk about a communication system that is utilized by many students with autism, and that is the Picture Exchange Communication System, PECS for short. There are 6 phases in the Picture Exchange Communication System. It is phase 1, it's when you're teaching the kids how to communicate. This is where it's just basically the manding. You're teaching them to ask for things that they want, and then they get it immediately after they've given you the icon with the picture on it. Phase 2 is distance and persistence. So this is when the student is going to have to get up and come give you the icon. They're going to have to tap you, somehow get your attention so that you can take the icon. Make sure that they're actually motivated for the item that they want and get your attention before they get that item. Phase 3 is discrimination between symbols. This is when you're going to be putting multiple icons out on the PECS book, and they're going to need to make sure that they're grabbing what they actually want. If they're not discriminating between the pictures and they're grabbing just random icons and handing them to you, you teach them how to discriminate by giving them immediately the item that they asked for to show them this is the train, for example, but you actually wanted the ball. Putting the items back on the PECS book and having them ask again. Phase 4, is using phrases. This is when you are teaching those carrier phrases. I want, I see, I need. You're teaching them how to add that to a sentence. The difference between I see a ball and I want a ball. They can't say I see a ball and get a ball. They're just labeling, they're tacting, they're not manding for that ball. Phase 5 is answering questions. This would be when the therapist or the teacher is asking them, what do you want? And they're responding with, I want the ball. And they're giving you all the icons necessary on their sentence strip. Phase 6 would be commenting. This is just going to be no prompting. No what do you want, what do you see, what do you need. This is just the student seeing a situation, being in a situation, and them commenting on it independently. They don't need to have prompting, they don't need help from you. All 6 phases, they're moved through at the student's pace. You're not going to move on until the student is prepared to move on. If you move on before, you could be missing out on something, or they might not actually have mastery of that phase. And if they don't have mastery of the previous stage, they're not going to get mastery of the next coming stages. PECS is a great system that we utilize at the center where I work at. The majority of the time at the center where I work at, it is a parent-based decision on what kind of communication system that their students are using. There's some guidance from our BCBAs, but if the parents come in and say they want to use an iPad, or if they want to use PECS, or they want to use sign language, it's mainly a parent-based decision. PECS is great because it is so inexpensive. It's printed off icons from the computer and you laminate them, and it's just a book that they're communicating with. If a parent doesn't have the means to get PerleQ or LAMP or some sort of iPad device that they can use, PECS is a great alternative because it does the same thing, just minus the iPad and that vocalization that you get from the iPad. Today I wanted to go over a little bit of using that phase 1, that manding with the icons. So I have a couple examples of icons here that we use. So in this example, this is like a hug. This is when the student is asking, I want a hug, and they hand us the icon and they immediately get that reinforcement of a hug. We're not going to wait, they're not going to hand it to us, and 5 minutes later we're going to give them a hug. It's going to be an immediate pairing of this picture means I want a hug, and they're going to get that hug. So for example, if one of my students handed me this, they would not immediately get a cell phone. They're going to immediately get the Thomas. We also use it a lot when we're teaching. We use it for their food reinforcers. These are highly motivating, and these are what's going to teach. Hey, I want my juice. I want chips. If I give you these, I get those. So those are the PECS icons that we use. PECS is a great system, and it really does give those kiddos a voice.